Hey guys, my name is Shanjai. Today I wanted to make a tutorial on how to make a basic landing page using HTML and CSS. I also made a landing page tutorial in my previous video, so I wanted to make another tutorial on how to make a sports website and each sports website. So this is just a website with a basic landing page which got the header. We got a header over here and a basic navigation bar, and through this tutorial you guys can get some idea of CSS grid, because we are going to use that to align the navigation bar and also the header as well. I'll leave the images in the description down below. This is the only one, so I'll leave it in the GitHub repository. You guys can check it. But before we get started, I've never asked this before, but I really want you guys to subscribe to my channel. If you guys are new, welcome. You guys can find a lot of tutorials in this, and I'm gonna be making a lot of tutorials in the future as well. So if you're really looking forward for that and you like the way of teaching, like the way I teach, so I really recommend you guys subscribe. And you guys also got some videos on web development, mostly project based, so if you guys are interested, yeah, subscribe. And that's all I wanted to say. But before that, after that, just get started. So I've got a folder called sports website. Inside that I've got a images website. So we've got that image of the shoe. So this is just a PNG, it doesn't show up on the website, ugly. So we gotta close that, and we want to make an index.html as usual, and then a style.css. This is not gonna take much time because we have only a little bit to do. So inside the HTML we just want a normal boilerplate, I would say. Title I wanna give it as esports, and I wanna link my style sheet, style.css. Once that's done, I wanna make a navigation bar with the class of navbar. So I'm actually using Emmet. If you're not familiar with VS Code, you guys can download extensions using the extensions panel of VS Code, or you guys can type Emmet and it's gonna show up and you guys can install it. And after that, inside the nav, I want to create a container div which we are going to wrap it up inside, so which will enable us to give a width. If you see, this is going to be the navigation by itself, so this inside the width is going to be adjusted by the container. So that's all. Inside that I want to make a h2 with the logo, so I'm gonna say sports corp, and after that I want to make a UL with a class of nav. Inside that we need a little bit of allies with a tag, and I want to say these stuff are gonna go to the right. So home, products, membership, support us, and we need a special one which is gonna be cart. So we wanna make the cart a little bit stand out because that's the important part. So we want a border radius, a border. So I'm gonna give it a class of cart. So that's gonna do it for the navigation bar. And after that, sorry guys, so after that we want to make a section for the header. So I'm gonna give it a class of main. So inside that it's gonna be with 100%. So inside that we need a div with a class of main container. So basically it's the same thing, it's with 100%, and the main container is gonna be the part that is with the margin. So that's all I want to say. So basically why we put containers is to get it to the middle. So after the container I want a separate div, and inside that I want to make a h2 saying comfort of the year, just some random stuff. Now I want an h1 which is gonna be the bigger text than the h2, obviously. So we bring, I'm sorry, can't spell. We bring you the best products and exclamation mark, and after that we need a p tag with lorem 30. So which means we can put lorem 30, which will give us just a random dummy text of 30. After the div, right after the div, we need an a tag, and not after the div, inside the div itself, because we want a button inside, and we wanna give it a class of btn and main btn. What we want to say inside is show more, so we just want to grab the attention of the viewer. Right after the div here, we want to give an image. So in this case I'm having the image right here, as I showed you guys. It's right here, so I'll actually leave it in the description. So images 3.png, we don't need an alt tag, and that's gonna do it for the HTML. So if I open this up in live server, it's gonna look really ugly, I would say, just with some HTML. This is how it should look like if you have followed along. So now that we are done with HTML, we should now move to CSS. So I'm gonna make a comment here. I'm gonna start using comments because my code is gonna I want my code to be scalable. Yeah, so I'm gonna make some basic stuff: margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing, border box. Now if you guys don't actually understand the basic styling like me, when I was beginner I didn't understand the basic styling. If you guys really don't understand that, just feel free to comment down below. I'll just make a video on that. It's really essential. The basic stuff is really essential, so that's why. So after that, we want to give a font family to the body, so we are going to be using that throughout our website. So I'm going to use monster art because it looks cool in this website. So after the body, we want to remove the underlines in all the links, so we are doing that. So in li we have bullet points, so we want to remove the bullet points. And after that, as we did in a previous video, we are going to do the variables. So it's part of the global. The variables we're going to be using is quite straightforward, I would say. We need a drop shadow, hover shadow, and a main color. So drop shadow is going to be 0 pixels on the top, 3 pixels on the right, 5 pixels on the bottom, 2 pixels on the right. And we want to define the color is 0, 0, 0 and 0.171. So basically, if you don't understand the format of drop shadows, this is the top, the first one is the top, this is the bottom, this is the right, this is the bottom, and this is the left. And this here we want to define the color. It doesn't always need to be RGBA, you can use RGB and also hex codes and normal colors. So after that, we need we actually don't need hover shadow because we're not going to be using it. We want to define the main color, which is essential. F64D4A, that's gonna be that color. And after that, we want to move to the nav bar. Now it's gonna be really easy to style the nav bar itself because we are gonna use CSS grid. So for the nav bar, as I told, we are gonna put with 100% because that's not the container. So on the top and the bottom, we want some padding, so we want some spacing from the top and bottom. And after that, now moving to the main part, which is a container. So container, we want the width to be 80%. And if we take a look, what's wrong? Yeah, so if you actually take a look, the width is 80%. It doesn't show up that much, but it's actually to the sides. But if I put width, if I put margin auto, and if you guys take a look, now it's moved to this side. So that's the specialty of having a container. Some people also use wrappers, but it's the same thing. So after that, I want to style the logo itself. So container h2, I want to give a font weight of 700, and I want the font size to be 20 pixels. I want the cursor to be pointer, because this is going to be obviously a link to the main website. The color of it we want to give is RGB 3131. Sorry, that's print screen. 3131 and 31. That's kind of a black color. So after that, we want to style the nav bar, and we want to target the direct container. Now we were targeting the container only, but we want to target the container that is inside it. So we want to display it grid, and we want to say grid template columns, and we want to say repeat and 1FR, one fraction. So if you're really new to CSS and CSS grid, what I'm doing is I'm displaying it as grid, and I'm saying display columns repeat to one fraction. So basically we have the container, and this basically is the first element in the container. So it's going to display it as grid, and it's going to have it this side, and this is a second parent. What I mean by parent is it's a different section. It's such as a div. So this is a whole of a different section. So this is not included to this. This is a whole different one. So if you actually take a look, you guys can see the H2 is different. The links are totally different. So that's the power of CSS grid. And after that, we wanna target the nav, which is UL, and we wanna make it go to the corner. So I want to say justify self flex end. So if we do that, it's gonna go to the sides. So we don't want it to be like that. We want it to be vertically aligned. So what I will do is what would I do? I want to say first the main ones, font weight, no, I want to say display flex. I want to say align item center, which will align everything to the center, and I want to say lastly justify content center. So if we take a look, it's gonna be like that. But we also do want some margin between them. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna target the nav a tag, which is the links. So for the margin, for the top and bottom, we need nothing, and for the left and right, we need a margin of 70 pixels. Oh, that's too much. 50, 30. No, you know what? I actually messed this up. What we want to do is we want to give it a margin right of 70 pixels. So it's not going to target the cart, because that's in a totally different place. We want to give font weight bold, no, font weight 100, and I want to say the font size should be 14 pixels, and I want to give the color as black. Now we're going to target the cart. So .nav.cart, it's some basic one. So if you take a look, it's not gonna give a spacing next to the cart because it's in a separate class. So we actually gave it a different class called cart, so it's not gonna target that. So for the cart itself, we wanna give it a margin right of margin left of the same value. So that's what I guess we should do. Yeah, margin 70 pixels and padding on top of, we need a border, so we are doing this padding. You could also use width, but this is a easier way. So border, we need 2 pixels of solid black, and we want to make it a little bit rounded, so border is 2 pixels. So there's that. It's kind of similar to what we have right here. So let's move on with the main section. So main section, I want to target the main, and I want to say width 100%. Now it's the same thing, we are using CSS grid. So for the main parent, we are gonna put with 100%, and just get that out of the way. By that I mean we don't need to make the separate individual parts of the main section 100 with 100%. The parent is 100%, so the whole thing is going to be 100%, if you get what I'm saying. By the way, if there's anything wrong, if there's any mistake in how I teach, just make sure to comment it in the comments. So for the main container, as usual, like we did in our previous nav, so with 85% and margin from the top and bottom, we need 50 pixels, and order for the left and right. So if you take a look, we got spacing. Now we want to deal with CSS grid now, I guess. Yeah, so we want to target the main and the main container in it. So the way we did it in the navigation bar, we want to say display grid, and I want to say grid template columns, and repeat 2 times 1FR. Now it's the same thing, because we have only 2 elements like this, one and the separate one. Now this is also one div, and this is separate div. If I were to do that, I'll say that again. We have separate div with the content, the main content. So this is a whole separate section according to grid, and this is a separate section. So this is gonna take it to the right, and this is gonna be taken to the left. So I think that's a good explanation. And now for the main container div, we want to give it an animation, which we are going to do it in some time. So we want to name it fade in 0.8 seconds and ease in out. Now if you're new to animations, adding animations, the first element we put in is the name of the animation, and this is the time delay we want, and this is the ease in and the ease out, basically the way it should come in and come out. And after that, it's quite a bit of CSS. I should do it quickly. So the div h2, I want the color to be the blue color that's in the shoe. So 3881BA, that's that color. I want the margin top to be 50 pixels and margin bottom to be 20 pixels. And we want to target the h1 now, which is the bigger text element. We want the font size to be relatively bigger than the others, because we want the viewer to look at that first, because that's the main text. So that's there. And for the color, we need to make it a little bit black. So this is what we're going to be using, 313131, which is what we use for the logo also. And after that, we want to target the paragraph. So main container, paragraph, I want to say font size 15 pixels and margin of 15 pixels on the top and bottom, and 0 from the left and right. And now we have to do some styling with the button. So the background of the button, we want it to be the variable that we didn't even use. So now we're gonna use it now. So padding 15 pixels from the top and bottom, 25 pixels from the left and right, and margin on the top and bottom 10 pixels and 0 from the left and right. Display inline block, because buttons are inline elements, so if we want to give them some margin, we want to display them inline block. If I don't, it's not gonna give it some margin. So basically it's gonna be on top, so only if I give display inline block, it's gonna get it down. So font size, I want to give 15 pixels. Color, I want to give you white. Border radius 1 pixel, and now we're using another variable, which is the drop shadow. So after that, we want to add in a little bit of a hover effect. No, we don't need the hover effect. And now we're gonna deal with the image. So main container image, we want to say the width is 100%, and now it's done. That's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys did the project as well. Hope you got some idea about CSS grid. If you got some ideas about it and want more videos like this, I really want you guys to subscribe, and I will be really thankful for that. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time.